Okay, y'all, so Simon is back at it again, coming for Porsha's neck because he just exposed her for having a weird secret fetish for some studs. But he didn't stop there because from the things he's saying, Porsha's fetish didn't start yesterday with her new boo. According to him, she was allegedly out here messing with studs while they were still married. And y'all, when I tell y'all that Simon is messy, you already knew that. But he's not even trying to be sneaky about it. About the timing, it's just way too convenient. The moment Porsha went public with her new relationship, Simon jumped in online acting like he suddenly has all this inside tea that he's been holding. You better spill, Simon. But y'all know that Porsha's not the type to let people speak on her name without clapping back. So of course, in Real Housewife of Atlanta way, she had a little something to say about Simon's shenanigans. And from the things that she's saying, well, let's just say that Simon is not the saint that he wants everybody to believe he is. Y'all, the situation is definitely getting chaotic, so let's get into it. So one thing about Miss Porsha Williams is that she's always gonna go and live her best life, and that's exactly what she's been doing since her divorce from Simon. She suddenly went public with her new boo thing, a stud named Patrice McKinney, and in true Porsha fashion, she has been loving hard and she's been loving loud. It was Patrice's birthday a couple of days ago, and Porsha posted loved up pictures of them together and captioned it, "Happiest birthday, Sway. Hope this year continues to bring you everything you want and more. Can't wait to act up Saturday." Well, she made good on her little promise to act up because she gifted Patrice with some expensive gifts, including some jewelry. So with the looks of things, she's in love and having a good old time. But while everybody else was gushing about how she and Patrice look good together, her ex, of course, Simon, jumped into the chat because he was not feeling it. According to insiders, Simon was so salty that he supposedly reached out to Patrice to warn her about Porsha. He's out here claiming that the only reason that Porsha is with Patrice is that she has a weird fetish with studs, and she's using Patrice to live out her fantasies. Put it in the chat if you think that Patrice even minds, because that's just messy as Simon. But then again, every single part of Simon and Porsha's divorce has been known to be the poster child for mess. So I guess we shouldn't be surprised. Now, from what the insiders are saying, Patrice doesn't seem to believe Simon because she's not even the first woman that Porsha has dated since her divorce from Simon. A few months ago, Porsha was at an event and the conversation shifted to relationships. Someone asked if she had started dating again after the divorce, and she admitted that she was dating again. She said she was seeing someone, then went ahead and mentioned that she's actually dating a man and a woman at the same time.
So, the people who I'm talking to now, it's just two. I've narrowed it down to two. Okay. And he is nice and she is nice. But I really just wanted to make sure that these were normal people. And what I talked about with my therapist the other day was, I'm having a hard time opening up because they're not narcissists. And guess what narcissists do? They love bomb you.
Did y'all catch that little shade she threw towards Simon? She basically hinted that he's a narcissist, which honestly isn't shocking because she's been saying that since her split. But Simon wasn't about to let that slide. You know, he's always coming out the woods and bushes to defend himself. He jumped right back in and called her a 304, claiming that she was allegedly messing around with multiple women while they were still married. So it seems like he might have an issue with her talking about dating, especially when she talks about dating women. But if you're wondering why he waited so long to spill all this, apparently he didn't see it as cheating at the time because she was just seeing women. In his head, it wasn't the same as being with another man, but now that she's out and loud and proud, all of a sudden he's got a whole lot to say about getting cheated on. But if you've been keeping up with their divorce drama, then you already know this isn't the first time that Simon has accused Porsha of cheating. He brought it up during the divorce too, but back then he didn't mention that her affair was with a woman or that she had a thing for studs. According to reports at the time, other questions included asking her to admit or deny she filed for divorce without telling him, whether she cheated on him during their marriage or whether she was intimate with another person during their union. But y'all, fans really didn't believe Simon. Like, they weren't taking him seriously because, again, he has been going above and beyond to smear her name. Considering how nasty their divorce was and how they dragged each other for filth on social media, it's not surprising that he's still bitter. Y'all remember when Porsha exposed him for supposedly having ED, right? She went on to share a screenshot about ED that said, How does a man feel when he has ED? It is common for men with ED to feel anger, frustration, sadness, or lack confidence. She was basically saying that the reason that Simon was acting all salty was that he was dealing with the side effects of his ED. And that's some nasty, shady, but might be true business. She then wrote, things you can do to help with erectile dysfunction. 1. Lose weight if you're overweight. 2. Stop smoking. 3. Eat a healthy diet. 4. Exercise daily. 5. Try to reduce stress and anxiety. Well, what's interesting here is that the fans have linked this ED with Porsha choosing to date women now. And like the fans said, Simon ED so bad he got Porsha out here effing studs. Simon then clapped back with, if I didn't allow witches in my life, my angel would not have to work so hard. Not him calling his thing an angel. He also wrote, the narrative changed from imminent deportation and fleeing the country to Dubai to broke and selling luxury cars, waiting for next narrative. The next narrative has arrived, ED, #wife for the streets. He then vowed that he was going to get his lick back, saying, this railroad 265-day just does not get it. There are consequences for making inflammatory and defamatory statements. A woman that has a history of coming for a manhood of every ex, peddling same old narratives and tricks. Unfortunately, you met the right one. Y'all, these two need to just get a room and fight it out because this drama ain't going nowhere. Who you got your money on? I got my money on Porsha all day. However, when you really think about it though, Simon might have a point about how Patrice is just a fetish for Porsha because fans have clocked that Porsha has had a bit of a history of being homophobic towards lesbians. There was even this one video where she said some pretty harsh things about lesbians.
Hey, the lesbians, we're supposed to try to save them and tell them you all want me. I can use you, I can use me.
But then there was that real messy Housewives of Atlanta storyline where she tried to make Kandi Burruss look like the bad guy for being adventurous in the bedroom. She claimed that Kandi and her husband had a sex dungeon and were planning to drug her and take her there. Not her having a fantasy. But after all that drama, she even went on to say that Kandi was a lesbian. By that point, Kandi had had enough and said that she had some serious tea to spill about Porsha herself.
Seriously, in my mind, I'm like, surely it's not Porsha. Like, this bitch right here knows she get more than a little bit. I mean, she's definitely hooked up with women, definitely. If she gets drunk, she becomes an aggressive lesbian.
Right.
Aggressive. Like, seriously. Until you're ready to speak your truth and be true to who you are, don't do it, boo. Don't do it.
Y'all know that Kandi ain't the one you want to play with. She flies above all the haters. She fly above. But she went in on the real and she spilled that tea and claimed that Porsha had come on to her and kissed her. She also claimed that Porsha wanted to hook up with her and her husband. Take a listen.
This season on the show, Porsha accused you and your husband, Todd, of propositioning her for a threesome.
You know what? It's so funny because, okay, I'm just going to keep it just 100 with everybody.
This is the real.
There was a girl and girl kiss between she and I that she initiated. This was like 2 years ago. And she invited us to her hotel. Now, when she said what she said, it pissed me off because I was like, you're lying or whatever.
Talking about legs and hips and body. But on that episode of the show, Kandi pointed out the text that Porsha had sent to her that night. And well, let's just say that Porsha wanted to get a little freaky.
This is a screenshot of the text. Finally got my phone back on. It's been broke for 3 days. By the way, I've been laughing every day since Queens. We was turned up for real. Just want you to know I'm not gonna rape you on camera, so no worries. I said, if you say anything crazy on camera, I'm gonna walk away and leave you standing there like I don't know you. Then she says, good, Queens is Vegas, goes on there, stays there.
Yeah.
Does that sound like somebody who was afraid if somebody was trying to do something to them?
She was warning you that she would lie about it if it was brought.
Well, Porsha seems to be the type who wants to get it with a woman only when she's drunk. So yeah, the whole fetish thing seemed to add up because it was really given a fetish. However, Porsha is not the one about to let this narrative fly because she just put Simon on blast for being a hater. She's standing 10 toes down behind her relationship and claiming that she and Patrice are in it for real. She's claiming to love Patrice for who she really is, claiming that it's true love and all that stuff. She also has asked everyone to disregard Simon's claims, and insiders are saying that she's planning to get a gag order against Simon to stop him from speaking on her and her relationships. But considering that Simon has been deported and no longer lives in the U.S., well, let's just say that it's going to be pretty difficult for her to serve him a gag order. But here's the real tea. The drama between Simon and Porsha isn't slowing down anytime soon. Simon is out and over there throwing receipts, dragging Porsha for her dating life and claiming that she's got some wild fetish for studs. But Porsha, she's just out here living her little best gay, loving, proud, loud life and clapping back at every shady claim. She's standing 10 toes down with Patrice, and from where we're watching, it looks like that might be the real deal. But at this point, it's messy, chaotic, and Porsha isn't letting anybody rewrite her story. And if she's really going for that gag order, well, that's a whole other chapter that's waiting to unfold. But one thing's for sure, two things for certain. The drama is far from over, and trust me, the next move is going to be even juicier. Stay tuned, because this mess is just getting started. Legs and hips and steady, steady.